In this demonstration, we're going to look at assessing the computer environment by using the Microsoft Assessment and Planning Toolkit. So what I've done here on my client machine is I've come into the map toolkit. And the first thing we're going to do at this point here is we're just going to come in and we're going to create or select a database. What we're going to do at this point here is I'm just going to call this demo. At this point here, we'll just select OK. And now what we've got is we've now got our database created, and we've also as well got our collection inventory created. So what we're interested in here is we're interested in server virtualization. And what we'll then do is we'll then start working through the steps to complete. So the first thing I'll do is I'll collect my inventory data. And what we're going to go for here is we're just going to go for Windows computers, and we'll select next. In the case of our discovery methods, I'm happy to use Active Directory and then select next. We need to just put in the domain account, and the password. Then what we'll do is select the next button. And at this point here, I want to discover all computers. So we'll find all computers in all domains, containers, and organizational units, and select next. Then what we'll do at this point here is we just need to supply some account credentials so that we can actually have a look at these devices. So what we'll do at this point here is we'll just fill out this table. And we'll select save. Then we'll select next. Then just in the case of our credentials order, as you can see, we've only got one technology, we've only got one set of credentials, so at this point here, we'll just select next again. Then what we'll do is we'll select finish. So as we can see, it's now running through, it's doing a data collection, so this is just going to take a little while. So at this point here, all we'll do is we'll just pause the presentation and return back once the collection is complete. So at this point here now, data collection is now complete. We can just select close, but just before we do that, if we just have a look at the details, so what we can see here, newly discovered, we've got 8. We can have a look at WMI, collector status, registry collector status, and what we've got down here is we've got basically just the summary. So at this point here, we'll just select our close button. The next thing we'll do is we will collect our performance data. The first thing we've got in the wizard here, we've got the collection configuration. So we're going to go for Windows-based machines. We don't have any Linux-based machines. We can set the duration for the performance metric collection. I'm happy with the default time, so we'll select next. We then need to just choose our computers. And what we're going to do at this point here is we're going to choose the computers from a list on the next step of the wizard, or we could provide a text file, but we will go for choose the computers on the next step. We want to select all the computers, so we'll just go for computer name, and that automatically selects all of the computers. Then what we'll do is we'll select next. We're happy with the administrator account at this point here, so we'll select next. Again, with the credentials order, we've only got one, so at this point here we'll select next again. Just read through the summary, and then we'll select finish. At this point here, it's now going to go away and gather the key performance metrics. So we'll just pause the presentation at this point and return back once the collection is complete. This has been run for a few minutes now, so there are things that we haven't been able to actually inventory, purely because what we did is we done an Active Directory discovery, and we discovered everything in Active Directory, but not all the machines were turned on. So what we've done here is successfully collected performance data off the devices that are currently powered on. So at this point here, we'll just select close. And now what we've done is we've now collected our performance data. Next thing we'll do is we'll just come in and create a hardware configuration. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to map our physical workloads against, in our case here, general server consolidation and desktop virtualization. But as you can see, we could also go for Microsoft Private Cloud Fast Track as well. So what we'll do at this point here is we'll select next. Then what it's saying at this point here is what we need to do is we need to create a new or existing hardware configuration. So what we're going to do at this point here is we're going to create a new one based off the servers that we're going to purchase. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to call this server-type 1. We'll select our next button. That brings us into the infrastructure screen. So on the infrastructure screen, what we're going to do at this point here is we're just going to select the next button. But as we can see here, we can set up in our infrastructure, we can specify the number of hosts we'll have, total IOPS, SAN storage, and network throughput. We'll just select next at this point. I'm not 100% sure of what I'll have at that point. Then what we'll do in the case of our manufacturer, we'll just click on our drop down. And in our drop down, we'll go for Intel. And below Intel, all we'll select here is we'll click on our little drop down. We'll just look for the processor type we've got. And I'm just going to go for a Xeon. So if we scroll all the way down to the X's. What we're looking for here is we're just looking for our Xeon processor types. And the one I'm going to go for is an X7560. And we're getting towards there now, so we'll just pick off our X7560. And then we'll select the box, and in the case of the number of physical processors, what we're going to have in each box is we'll have 2. Processor speed, I'm happy with the 2.262. Cores per processor, yep, we're happy with 8. Hyperthreads per core, 1. Level 2 cache, level 3 cache, and both speed will also leave as defaults, and select next. We will define the IOPS for the storage, so we'll go for the maximum disk IOPS. What we'll do here is we'll put in a value of, let's give this 20,000. And then in the case of the total available storage, what we'll do at this point here is we'll just go for 1800 gigabytes. Select our next button. In the case of our network and memory, what we'll do is we'll go for the total network throughput, and what we'll do at this point here is we'll give this 4000 megabits per second. In the case of the amount of memory, what we'll do is we'll increase this up to, let's make that 128. Then we'll select our next button, select our finish button. So what we'll do now is we'll just scroll this down a bit, and what we've got here is we've got under our hardware library. If we just go for our configurations, what this is going to show us at this point here, it's just showing us the types of data for the configuration. So what we've got here is based off the hardware information, the performance data we've put in place. What it's doing at this point here, it's giving me some possible configurations that I can use in order to take my physical servers that we've just ran all of this Microsoft assessment and planning against, and what it will do is it will give us different ways to actually take those physical servers and then virtualize them. And that's the end of this demonstration. Thank you.